In 2009, that seems a long time ago, I started making a distinction between testing and checking. Other people had made it. Alan Turing, in fact, had talked about checking a large function, where it seemed he was making a distinction between checking and testing as well. Checking is, in the rapid software testing namespace, operating a product algorithmically, mechanistically, in order to check specific facts about it. Now, we could think in terms of a spelling checker. What does a spelling checker do? A spelling checker goes through a body of text, tokenizes it, turns it into word-sized chunks, and then compares those words to entries in a dictionary. Man, if you get a word that doesn't appear in the dictionary, it gets a little red wavy line under it. If the word is in the dictionary, no little red wavy line. But what would a spelling checker do with this? This is an idea that basically comes to us from Harry Collins, sociologist of science, sociologist of scientific knowledge. Harry uses this example to point out that a spelling checker would probably put a little red wavy line underneath this. But a human editor would look at it and say, there's no problem here. In fact, the human editor might even circle the word warn and write stat around it as a note to the proofreader. Don't change this. This isn't wrong, because the writer is spelling this word warn deliberately in order to emphasize a point. The spelling checker doesn't understand human intentions. And this leads to a really important distinction that I said we made starting in 2009 or so. James Bach and I did, about the difference between testing and checking. Testing, well, it includes checking. Testing includes the practice of operating a product algorithmically, mechanistically, to check specific facts about it. But testing is more than that. Testing is evaluating a product by learning about it through experiencing, exploring, and experimenting. And that includes a whole bunch of other stuff. Observing the product, manipulating it, navigating through it, generating ideas about it, overproducing ideas about it, refining the ideas that we've overproduced, abandoning some of those ideas, recovering some of those ideas that we've abandoned, navigating, map making, recognizing risk and analyzing risk, thinking critically about the product, collaborating with other people, creating tools and obtaining tools by which we might examine and manipulate the product and look at it in various ways. And machinery can do none of this on its own. To make those complex social judgments about whether the product does what it's supposed to do, we need humans for that. We need skilled people. In fact, we need people who can create the conditions necessary for evaluating a product by experiencing, exploring, and experimenting with it. And in fact, we need something more than that. We need skilled testers, people who have the drive, the motivation, the inclination, and a reputation for creating the conditions necessary for evaluating the product by learning about it through exploring, experimenting, and experiencing, so that we can help our clients to make informed decisions about risk. And that also includes telling a three-part story about the status of the product, the testing that we've done, and the quality of the testing that we've done. Now, testing on its own doesn't make the product better, in the same way that weighing yourself doesn't improve your health. But testing allows us to understand things about the product that would help us to inform decisions about whether the product we've got is the product we want. So testing alone doesn't make the product better, but it does help to reveal where the product might need to get better in the eyes of the people who are making it. And that's why we're here as testers.